Yo, what's up, sports bettors? Good morning. So, what we're going to do is make some money sports betting. So, let me share my screen, just logging into these accounts pretty early in the morning. Couldn't sleep super well. So, let's see what the sports betting markets have for me. So, first thing I see is an ARB, right? So, we're up 5.2K. Again, there's a sheet in the description on YouTube, or if you're on Twitter, it's in the pinned tweet, a bit.ly link with all open bets. You could have tailed everything. In real time, we're up 5.2 frickin' thousand dollars. Could have tailed everything. And what we're going to start out with is an ARB, right? We can see there's an ARB right here. So if we go here, we go to alternate total on DraftKings. Here we have under 211.5 and over 211.5. So FanDuel, we can pull up an arbitrage calculator. Again, arbitrage is risk-free money in sports betting. And you can see this just moved. So we're not always going to be able to get in on bets. But essentially the premise is, right, with arbitrage, you place a bet on equal and opposite outcomes on two sports books, and you earn a risk-free profit, right? Although this profit, 1.11%, may seem relatively small, right? 1.11%. This game is in 12 hours, right? So you're earning a risk-free 1.11% back in your account within a few hours. Or not a few hours. I guess this would be like, 14, 15 hours. So the return of the stock market is freaking 8% a year, right? With tons of risk. And we can earn 1.11% risk-free in 15 hours, right? That is the premise of arbitrage. But also the premise of arbitrage is that whenever there's an ARB, you know that there has to be a profitable bet, a mathematically profitable bet. And that is called a positive EV bet. So here we can see Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, has Siakam rebounds under 9.5 at minus 145. Pretty tight market too. Only 34 cents a market with, whereas DraftKings, right, has this minus 110. So if we had a Pinnacle account and a DraftKings account, of course, Pinnacle's not in the US, but I could place a bet on both sports books and earn a risk-free profit. Granted, it's a smaller risk-free profit than the other one above, but what that means is that we know there has to be a profitable bet, right? There has to be a positive EV bet. So what we can do is we can bet this, right? So we can play this. So we'll go here. We'll go to early player props. It seems like Siakam is moving lower. And then we can bet this, right? Positive EV bet. So we have Siakam. What the? Log me in, baby. Log me in. So accounts logged in. Let's go, baby. Just hit this. First bet. Screen is sharing. Okay, I'll add this to my bet tracker. Again, the OddsJam bet tracker is 100% free, right? So Siakam under 9.5 rebounds. This bet's at minus 110 odds. The edge or EV on this bet is 6.01%. So we're $6 richer, right, in EV. So here we have this 601. And then what we see is this sum of expected profit continues to go up, right? And our net profit number, we're obviously running hot. We have $2,000 I've placed on these live streams and expected profit, but we're only at, 5.2K in net profit, or we are at 5.2K in net profit. So we're running a bit hot, to say the least. So that's pretty cool. And what we can do is we can just look for some other good bets, right? We can scroll around all day long and find some freaking amazing bets. So what we can do, God, man, early morning, I am waking the F up. So what we can do is we can kind of just scroll through, look for some good bets. Again, just, even if you're never paying for OddsJam, I get it. Look, would I want to pay for my own product? No. But what you can see is the OddsJam bet tracker is 100% free, right? Just create an account on OddsJam. And what's really cool about it is it shows you, right, when you are beating the closing line. To be a profitable sports bettor in the long run, first of all, you need to track your bets and know your profit and loss, right? It's very hard oh, I think I made money yesterday. That bet on FanDuel won. That bet on DraftKings lost. You need to track your bets so you actually know. And then also, you want to make sure you're beating the closing line consistently. That's not going to happen all the time. Like you can see this bet on Jaden McDaniels. I bet it plus 118. It closed plus 128. So I didn't beat the closing line. But like overall, I'm beating the closing line. And beating the closing line is the number one indicator for making profitable bets, right? That's how you go up 5K in 2 freaking weeks. Could have tailed everything. It's live stream. So the OddsJam bet tracker is free. You can just tail my bets on the live stream. I don't really care. That sounds pretty good to me. And what we can do is we can look for some other bets. So you can filter around your settings as well. Really cool about OddsJam is you can, do you want to see props? Do you not want to see props? All OddsJam is data, right? We're presenting data to you in an interesting way that is, makes it very easy to identify good bets, right? So here we can see, Southeast Missouri State, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, only 19 cents of market width in their market, right? The market was minus 129, plus 110. So they're super confident in their lines. But the way that every sportsbook makes money is they juice their markets, right? They charge the VIG, they charge the juice. So what you're doing with this most important calculator on OddsJam, a no VIG fair odds calculator, is you're taking the market from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, and removing the VIG. You're removing the VIG, you're removing the juice, right? So you can see they had minus 129 on, whatever was favored and plus 110 on the other side. These are equal and opposite outcomes. So what you need to do as a sports bettor is remove the juice, remove the VIG to get an indication of the fair line. So for the Southeast Missouri State, it would be plus 2, right? This has a fair line of minus 118, right? And we're getting it minus 110, which is better odds than that. So this is a plus EV bet, right? So what we can do is we can go to this game and we can bet this plus 2. So this is what we want to bet, right? Positive EV bet. The sharpest sports book in the world has this minus 129, and we're getting minus 110, which is a plus EV bet. So shoot, I got to log back in. So give me 1 sec. Sportsbooks are in the business of logging me out. So what we can do is I can log back in. And then we can place this bet, which will be, I guess, our first plus EV bet of the day. Okay, so then let me share my screen. We're back in, and then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to hit this for 250. Southeast Missouri State. So Southeast Missouri State, right? I'm forming my own little hedge fund of bets that are all mathematically profitable. 3.46% edge. Let me add that to my bet tracker. Boom, hit save. You'll see a green check mark once you add something to your bet tracker. And that's pretty cool. So we bet this minus 110 odds. And again, less EV, right? We're betting $250. The return of our bet is 3.46%, right? And if you're confused about the power of sports betting, the power of sports betting is that for this, Jazz bet tonight, granted the market width is a bit higher, but you are getting the return of the stock market in 1 day on your bet, right? This bet, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, is only giving you plus 122. So if we go to a zero VIG calculator, the fair line, the true odds, the zero juice odds, whatever you want to call it, is plus 138.85. We're getting plus 160 on DraftKings. So this is a mathematically profitable, a plus EV bet, right? We're getting odds that are above the true price. So we can bet this too. And I'm placing all these mathematically profitable bets, essentially just forming my own hedge fund of mathematically profitable bets, right? Mitchell Robinson, over 1.5 assists. We got this, plus 160. We threw $100 on it. The EV of this bet is 8.85%. So 8.85%. So, I have 3 bets placed. They're all positive EV. They all have an edge as a sports bettor. They are all beating the zero vig true price, right? They're all beating the true price, plus 160. So that's pretty cool. And then what we can do is we can just continue to kind of scroll around, look at the odds, see if there's anything we want to bet. Are there any promos already at frickin' 7 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Mountain Time? And it doesn't look like there's any promos yet for today. So maybe another time. So we bet that. I don't have enough for a free bet. Do I have free bets anywhere? I could show free bet conversion. So again, like, you know, the bet tracker is 100% free on OddsJam, really recommended. If you're not on the OddsJam email list on the home page, if you don't have an account to OddsJam, you can just sign up to the email list to get a few plus EV bets emailed to you. What's really cool about OddsJam is we have email alerts, right, for all of this stuff. And you can fully customizable email alerts. You can determine what you want to get alerts for, what you don't want to. So you can sign up for the email list. You can get the bet tracker, which is 100% free and pretty cool. You can also use the, so this I already bet, really like it. Senators minus 1.5 plus 195. So lines keep moving towards the Ottawa Senators. And again, like the only premise here is we have an ARB between Pinnacle and DraftKings, right? So if we had accounts at both sportsbooks, we can make a risk-free profit. So we take the bet on DraftKings because that is the positive EV bet, right? This is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. You don't want to bet against them, but you could bet on both sportsbooks and make a risk-free profit. So we know one of these bets has to be good. And what we play is Senators minus 1.5 plus 195. That is the positive EV bet right here. And you can see I literally bet this earlier. Senators minus 1.5 plus 195. So that's pretty cool. And then, man, just a lot of bets to look at. Pretty tight market width, right, on this Bagnus guy. So why not? We can place a tennis bet. I am in for tennis betting. So we can go here and we have this Bagnus guy, right? Some good value. Only 17 cents of market width here, right? Pinnacle is so confident in their market, right? The fair price, Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, they're only giving you plus 115. They're minus 132 the other way. So once you remove the VIG, remove the juice, which is the most important concept in sports betting, you get true odds of plus 122. We're getting plus 130. So this is a plus EV bet. So we can hit this, right? We'll hit that for 250. And boom, bet placed. So now we'll go back here. And again, that is the most important concept in sports betting, right? So we have this Bagnus tennis money line. So we have Bagnus tennis money line plus 130, 250 bucks. This bet has an EV of 3.45%. So 3.45%. So, you know, another bet profitable by 863. So now I have 4 uncorrelated bets already placed during this live stream. They're all profitable by an average of like $7, right? So I'm 32.14 richer in EV. So we continue to see the sum of expected profit march higher and higher and higher, right? Pretty simple. So again, if you have free bets, this is another free feature of OddsJam, which is really cool. It's free bet conversion. So you just go here to the low holds page, you type in DraftKings, you sort by conversion percentage, and this will show you the best free bets available, right? So the best, you want your free bets mathematically to be at high odds. So if you just look up free bets, you know, we have some good articles and stuff like that. A ton of things on the blog. You can browse, obviously free. And if we go back here and we type in DraftKings, we sort by conversion percentage, you can see that this tells me, hey, you can convert your $10 free bet into $7, right, and 3 cents, whatever, risk-free. by placing your free bet always on the underdog. Your free bet's always going to be on the underdog. Mathematically, that's how you optimize value. And then hedging $25 on this Kyler Phillips minus 355 on FanDuel. That's how you can, that is the best free bet available if you want to convert your free bet into cash risk-free, right? Risk-free, converting your free bet into cash. So that's pretty cool. We can go to the middles page, see if there's anything. Over 9 goals in Hurricanes game. We want to dabble in that. So that seems pretty good. I mean, a middle. But anyways, we'll go back here. So this we already bet. This we can take a look at. I mean, granted, a bit higher market width, but plus 245 definitely seems like it has some value. So this is in the Granada game. So what we can do is we can go to FanDuel and then we can go to soccer. And again, like just value. Granted, 64 cents a market width, a bit more, but I mean, the value in plus 245, like just look at the odds, right? Like frickin' DraftKings only giving you plus 215, FanDuel plus 245, and the sharpest sportsbook in the world has been hammered down all the way to plus 201. And again, the important thing that you understand is if we go to the plus EV page, right, this is a market, right? One of these bets on Pinnacle would have to win, right? They're saying you can bet $100 to win 201 on the over, or you can bet 265 to win 100 profit on the under, right? That is their market. So they don't charge you a fee, right, for placing your bet. They don't charge you a fee. The way that they make money is they juice their markets. They add VIG to their markets, right? And they give you prices that they don't think are good, right? Pinnacle doesn't think plus 201 is a good price on over 3.5 goals. That's why they're letting you bet it, right? So here they're going to limit me to 67.35. FanDuel's like, yo, you've made too much money off us. And I'm like, okay. So then we're going to go here and I'm going to put in 67.35. This bet is 8.31% edge. And this is Granada versus Villarreal. Don't know anything about either of these teams. Don't care. Granada, Villarreal, over 3.5 goals. This bet was on what, 218? Is that the right date? 219. 219. We have 67.35. Nope, that's 245. This is 67.35. That's my stake, 67.35. And the EV of this bet is 8.31%. So we can refresh this. And then we have 8.31%. So now I just gained $5.60. I'm $5.60 richer. I have 5 bets, all mathematically profitable in Hedge Fund Alex, right? $19.90 in expected profit. So again, all the plus EV page shows you is good bets, mathematically profitable bets like this plus 160. And then this number right here. So you can just scan this, right, when you're trying to find good bets, right? You just scan the plus EV page and you can see this is the profit margin of your bet mathematically to the true odds from Pinnacle, right? So this bet on DraftKings, this plus 160, we follow it over, has an expected return or a profit margin in edge as a sports bettor, whatever word you want to use, of 8.85%, right? So again, you know, just to like make sure, because it's the most important thing in sports betting, is this is Pinnacle's market. Plus 201 minus 265 on the over under 3.5 goals. They don't charge you a fee for placing a bet. The way that sportsbooks make money is they juice their markets and they charge the VIG, they charge the juice, whatever you want to call it. So what you want to do as a sports bettor is remove the juice to get an indication of the midpoint, right, or the fair line. So you use a zero VIG odds calculator to find the midpoint of a market, which is essentially the point of indifference for Pinnacle Sportsbook, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. And we'll see that once we remove the juice from Pinnacle's market on this over under 3.5, the fair line, the point of indifference, right? This is a zero hold market, plus 218.5 minus 218.5. So the fair line would be plus 218.5 on over 3.5. That is the true odds on over 3.5, minus 218.35 on under 3.5. That is the true odds, the true price on under 3.5 goals, right? So that's pretty cool. And we already bet this. So this I should add to my bet tracker. I didn't earlier. So that's pretty cool. You know, pretty tight market width here, over 4.5 goals on this. I mean, just a lot of bets out there. It's a little overwhelming. We already bet this Bagnus guy. We got some tennis bets in the mix. What do we want to bet? Here we can see this plus 135. I mean, right, pretty tight market width, only 19 cents a market width, plus 135 seems like pretty damn good value to everything. So we can go to this Arlovsky fight, and we can go to this Jared Bandera guy, and TwinSpires logged me out, so I guess I'm going to hold off on that, but that bet looks a little good. But again, for free bets, 100% free feature on OddsJam. Also, sign up for our email list. You want information about the good promos, right? Like yesterday, we sent out an email about this promo. Bet the first half point spread. If you win, you get a 50. Bet the first half point spread. So we were on Mavericks minus 0.5 points because they were favored in the game. And if you win, you get a 50-cent free bet for every team, for every point that your team scores in the first half. So I don't know how many points the Mavericks scored in the first half, but I think the bet won. So I'll be getting 50 cents in a free bet for every point that the Magic scored in the first half. Super profitable promo, very high EV, right? A lot of these promos. So we kind of like go through and tell you which ones are good or what we bet and why we like it and what's the math behind it, right? So we already have these two bets. So we can kind of go back here. And again, like the sports betting market is dynamic. You never know when the best betting opportunities are going to occur. You never know when the best betting opportunities are going to pop up, right? Players get injured, sharp action comes in. These lines are always bouncing around, right? So there's just so many bets. I always get overwhelmed. But I think we'll call it. I'll probably be live later. We placed 5 bets, all mathematically profitable. The sum of EV is $37. So I'm $37 richer in EV. I have my first mathematically profitable bets placed for today. And I'll wait for some more player props to be posted. I'll be back on live, and let's make some freaking money today.